Guffey Proctor here with my two cats in my open window. They are very adamant about being in the open window, so I figured I'd give them as long as this video takes for me to record. I know it's not very good in an environmental sense of just wasting a bunch of heat energy, but it's a trade-off, you know? Animal well-being versus human civilization. I'm gonna go with my cats. Sorry, but fuck all of you. I'm just kidding. The real reason I'm here to talk to you fine folks today is a little thing called MATHfest that we are setting up right here in the tundra of New Hampshire. Hoth cold outside, as they may say. I am really, really excited about MATHfest, mainly because we have a really strong local artist community. And I felt like in New Hampshire, sure, it's really cool to have a big event like in Iowa with somebody like Weezer, obviously way better turnout than we're probably going to run into with locals. At the same time, local music is a staple to the future artisan economy. And as musicians and artists, I think a lot of the time we rely on that backbone of community. I know I do. Friends, family, the Dover Brick House, where we are running the events. Without this type of community backdrop, I think it becomes very hard for artists to make said community. Really, you need places like the Dover Brick House, places that advocate for musical expression and art and the arts in general. So performing arts or concerts with bands, shows, it doesn't matter. I think all of that's really, really important. So I guess where I was going, I went on a tangential rant. Music community is really important, I think, because it brings a lot of us together, past party lines, past opinions and politics, and just right down to self-expression, which I think everybody can kind of relate to in a way, shape, or form. So MATHfest is going to be really awesome. I'm excited about it. We're about 3 minutes into the video and I haven't really gone into who's on it. So the band that I play in, Ambient Discord, as well as Bigfoot, they're an amazing band. Todd and the boys in Bigfoot are phenomenal. So we're really excited to have them on this bill, as well as Gnostic Sun, Steve's project. They're just really great. It's primarily acoustic by himself, I believe, possibly with some other acoustic percussion, but he's really good. He's a great musician, and his project is something you should check out, as well as Bigfoot. So the big thing here, though, is to gather in new people that haven't heard of Andrew Yang, and to really try to drive focus into the artist aspect, because I think a lot of artists can relate to what it's like to struggle. Starving artists is a thing, right? I mean, it's relatable, but $1,000 a month would do exponential things for people, not even just artists, people trying to start bakeries or their own businesses, podcasts, YouTube channels, anything that requires some sort of self-motivation, I think becomes a lot easier when you have the means to back it financially and not worry about whether you're going to choose your rent or your passion or your hobby and the thing that you want to drive towards. That's what makes the United States great. Not going back in time to some antiquated perspective of reality, but what makes this country great in general is ingenuity, entrepreneurship, free market economy, the ability to grow your own capital without the government intervention, within means, within reason, rather. I think those are the things that make us great. And it's not again. I mean, we're already a great country. I just think that we need to improve. And we're always trying to improve. That's the problem, I think, with both sides of the aisle, is the pretentiousness, and the thought of being right. I think people are so obsessed with being right, they forget to look inside and ask if they're wrong. I like to be wrong. I prefer to be wrong. It makes me a better person, long term, for my kid, for society, for my life in this, crazy sexually transmitted existence that we live in. It is basically, you don't get a choice. You get thrust into this world. It'd be a hell of a lot easier to get thrust in this world with some sort of base, fundamental income. And I think that this is the same thing with knowledge. Fundamental knowledge is a right of, I think, humanity in the 21st century. This is going to continue to change, and it's continue to subvert power. You can see in all these countries rising up. I mean, everywhere you go, if you really dig in, you can see multiple countries are rising up against their corruption in their governments, and it's just kind of hush hush, I think, but not because of the internet. We got something that they can't control, and that's this. Whether it's discourse, or you agree with me or you don't, we all are allowed to learn, fundamentally. Whether it's right information, you can believe the earth is flat, it doesn't make you right, but you have the right to dig in and learn on your own. You don't need to go off of what anybody else says. You can find out information for yourself and go through the processes. It's not a future difference. It's not going to change as time goes on, to the negative, or to a negative aspect. I think that it's only going to get better, unless we destroy ourselves first, which we could do if we become more obsessed with cat memes than corruption. I think it's important that you ask yourself what the important things are in life to you. And I don't think a political candidate is an answer to everything. But I think the thing that Andrew Yang is bringing to the table, and why I would dump, several $100s of my own money into a room fee to try to support a project, event like this, where there's not going to be any type of guaranteed return, even for Yang, because we can't charge door costs, is because I believe in the possibility of change. And I believe that whether I agree with Andrew Yang on everything, I don't agree with him on everything, gun control, there's a lot of things that we don't see eye to eye on, but he's genuinely trying to save his family. That I can get behind. Trying to save your child from a future that is just uncertain is something I can fucking get behind. My son lost his mother earlier this year, and watching him go through that has fundamentally changed me as a human being. I think that our priorities in life aren't always what they should be. I think we prioritize work above where it is, believe it or not. And you can blame the boomer generation, you can blame us being told college is the answer over trade schools, but at the end of the day, it's what you choose to do with your time. And that's something that I am very libertarian on. I believe in pulling yourself up by your bootstraps to an extent. Mental health is a real thing. People struggle, obviously. And that's a real deal. But doing everything you can to consume that time so you don't let any time for negative thoughts to creep in and stuff. Not that you can control that, obviously. Mental health is a real problem that people struggle with personally. And I've seen people die because of it. At the end of the day, what do I want to teach my son? To go work and slave at a job that he hates for the rest of his life to contribute to the GDP? That's running people like his mother's life off of a fucking cliff? No, that is absolutely not what I'm going to teach my child. What I will teach my child is follow your dreams, follow your passion, find what sets you on fire, what makes you feel vibrant and aligned with the universe, and you follow that to the ends of any means. You push through it and you find your passion in life, because we have one chance in this fucked up existence to show who we are and lay our name down in the book that is history. And if we choose to spend our time thinking about the negative things that we can't control, the exterior aspects of life we can't control, instead of focusing interior, how to better yourself, not what political candidates are doing, but how can you change thought processes of people that you want to think like you to maybe vote for said political candidate. And what do you do at the end of the day? Do you sit back when politicians tell you there are no answers? There are no solutions. We can't talk about automation. We can't talk about the upcoming robot job apocalypse that is upon us. No, you do something about it. You try everything you can until your last dying breath, because we get one chance to live here, and tomorrow you could be taken out by dysentery, by a plane accidentally flying into your trailer. You could slip in the bathtub and smash your head open when nobody's home, bleeding out. Like, anything could happen. And we're worried about the chicken flu. We're worried about all of these externalities that you can't control. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you can control. Start at a local community, music community, political community, churches, whatever it is, and try to work outside. Start from in, work out. That's what I'm trying to do. And it's helped a lot with my depression and struggling through a lot of this. I'll leave you all, folks, with that. I hope that you can see what I see in these realities in this election. And I thank you again for your time, consideration, and if you can, subscribe, like. Thanks.